Welcome to What You Need to Know, the series where I give you all the information you need on upcoming games. In this episode I'll be covering the fantastic looking Persona 5 Royal and enhanced port of 2017's Persona 5, which also happens to be the first game I ever covered in this series. Before I jump into all the new additions and changes, I want to take a short period of time to preface what Persona 5 Royal is about for those that didn't play the original. You were placed in the hands of a 16-year-old boy who was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit, put on probation, and sent to a new school in Tokyo called Shujin Academy. Not long after discovering a mysterious phone app, he and a fellow student find themselves stumbling into the metaverse where they encounter a palace, which is essentially a distorted manifestation of someone's mind. Within these various palaces, you and other students you meet along the way discover you have the ability to utilize personas, which are manifestations of the user's psyche. Together they attempt to uncover the mystery behind a series of mental shutdowns, bring criminals to justice, and change the world. What's particularly great about the story is that it deals with some very real-life issues such as depression, exploitation, and sexual harassment. In terms of the gameplay itself, it's a really unique mix that you don't find in many other games. Part of your time is spent in the real world, where you'll build up social connections with others called confidants, and increase personal stats like charm, proficiency, and knowledge. The other half is spent in the metaverse, working your way through palaces, engaging in turn-based combat. You have a limited amount of time to do everything, so how you manage it is incredibly important. So that's more or less what you need to know about the core game, but what's been added or changed for those such as myself who have already beaten the original in 2017. One of the biggest additions is a new playable character called Kasumi Yoshizawa, who transferred to Shujin the same time as the main character and is an accomplished gymnast. In combat she uses a rapier-like sword, Winchester-style gun, and controls a persona called Centrillion. Much like the other Phantom Thieves, you can also build up your confidant rank with her, granting you abilities, bonuses, and items. Talking of confidants, there was also another new one in the form of Takito Maruki, who was a school counsellor and may play a more important role in the story than you might expect. There are also new places you can visit. For example, in the real world, there is now a location called Kichijoji. Here you can go to a new hangout spot with the rest of the Phantom Thieves called Penguin Sniper, where you can do activities like darts and billiards, or visit numerous shops such as a vintage clothing store, stationery store, and dumpling restaurant. Outside of that, there'll be additional social/date spots. For instance, in one scene, you will visit an aquarium. One of the best aspects of a Persona game is undoubtedly the fantastic music, with Persona 5 being no exception, featuring some of my favourite tracks in the series. Royal further adds to that with a ton of new songs, one of which will be accompanied alongside a brand new opening that looks just as stylish as you'd expect. When it comes to the palaces themselves, there will be a completely new one. I won't say what the theme is or whose palace it is to avoid any spoilers, but it looks just as good as the rest of them. The original palaces also received some changes that improved them, such as all the main bosses receiving various different alterations to better them, a grappling hook you can use at various points to reach high places, new and altered puzzles, as well as shortcuts. There's even something called My Palace, where you can replay cutscenes, look at artwork, see interactions between other characters, and even decorate it in numerous ways as you progress. If you want something to really challenge you, you have the aptly named Challenge Battle mode, which is accessible from the Velvet Room. This mode sees you pitted against enemies at different levels, with the better score you achieve, the more items you get. The last big addition is a third semester that, provided you fulfill certain requirements, will take place after the ending of the original and includes a new plotline, events, not to mention 2 new endings, one bad and one true. It's also during this period when the aforementioned new palace occurs. Outside of the main additions, there are a ton of smaller ones that make for an overall better game. To give just a handful of examples, there is a new type of shadow called Kayuma that are veiled in purple shadow and are much tougher to take down, but rewards you with rarer items. Futaba now has an all-out attack like the rest of the cast. There are added scenes for each of the confidants. The twins Caroline and Justine can enter the real world, and some cutscenes that weren't voiced previously are now voiced. So what about DLC? After all, Persona 5 had a ton of DLC on offer in the form of various costumes, background music, and persona. If you bought some, you might be wondering whether you'll have to buy them again. Well, rest easy, as it's been confirmed you will not only be able to use any DLC you bought without any additional cost, all the DLC will be available within Royal for free, which is certainly a nice bonus. In terms of the release date, Persona 5 comes out just shy of the original's 3-year anniversary on March 31st this year. It's worth noting it is a full price title. You sadly can't purchase it as an add-on for the standard game or carry over your save to Royal. Unlike Persona 5, which was created for the PS3 and simply ported straight to the PS4 with little in the way of improvements, Royal has been created with the PS4 in mind, offering up a few minor graphical improvements as well as PS4 Pro support. With Persona 5 Royal releasing less than 2 weeks before the Final Fantasy VII Remake, do you think it adds enough to warrant another purchase? I think if you didn't like Persona 5, it probably isn't going to do anything to change your mind, but if like me, you thought it was fantastic, it provides around 20 to 30 hours more content to sink your teeth into. If you didn't play the original but love JRPGs, this is an absolute no-brainer. It is one of the best JRPGs ever, and all the extras make it even easier to recommend. That's it for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell icon to receive notifications when future videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.